Hi, welcome to Genesis Engineers Academy. In this video, I am going to discuss on simple stresses and strains. Well, let's get started. So, you might have studied about engineering mechanics. This engineering mechanics or mechanics of rigid bodies is concerned with the static and dynamic behavior of materials under external forces which are infinitely strong and undeformable. So, engineering mechanics basic concept is that is on rigid bodies. Rigid bodies. Okay. So, that is engineering mechanics is nothing but the studying of that is engineering components. So, when they are at rest and dynamic and they are infinitely strong, we believe that. So, that is the concept of mechanics of rigid bodies or nothing but engineering mechanics. Next one is mechanics of solids, also called as mechanics of deformable bodies, also called as strength of materials. So, this concerns about the internal forces and associated changes, if there are any changes in its geometry of the components involved. So, now it is only on the force, now the effect of force. So, engineering that is strength of material is nothing but knowing the effect of forces on the materials. Okay. So, in this we have come across that is called strength. Strength is nothing but ability of the material to withstand the applied load. So, against failure or plastic deformation, whatever may be the case. So, next we'll go for what is that internal resistance. Okay. So, what is the stress? Stress, it is the internal resistance offered by a body to the external load applied per unit cross-sectional area. What does it mean? So, if we apply a load on this bar, so this undergoes deformation. So, when it undergoes deformation, so the resistance opposing the deformation will be induced within the material. Okay. So, the stress is because of the external load and that to deformation. So, to prevent that deformation, the material will undergo or otherwise offer the internal resistance. Okay. So, that internal resistance is due to the inherent capacity or capability of the material. So, when you don't have the strength, it is common or obvious you are unable to oppose. So, the stress is relatively that is capability of the material. Okay. So, what is the stress? It is the internal resistance against deformation. Okay. Next, the stress is nothing but the load applied by cross-sectional area. That is the formula. Okay. So, I have shown that is I have taken an arbitrary cross-section, that is at this cross-section I am showing that is this is applied force, this is the resistance force. Got my point? So, this is called deformation. Here in this case it is elongation. Okay. So, this is about stress. So, just mention that is remember. And one more thing I wanted to, sometimes we use strength in place of stress. So, therefore, what is strength? Strength measures how much stress can be applied to an element before it deforms permanently or fracture. Okay, so how much stress can be induced means how much force can be applied. It all depends upon the material strength. If the material is having weaker strength, you cannot expect a more load on the part or mechanical component. Okay, next I wanted to mention two terms, that is a longitudinal axis and the other one is called transverse axis. Longitudinal axis is nothing but a prismatic bar. The top and bottom have the same cross section. So their center of gravity, the line joining their center of gravities, we call this as longitudinal axis. Okay, and the axis perpendicular to the longitudinal axis, we call it as transverse axis. And the load is acting, that is exactly at the center of gravity, or otherwise you can say along the longitudinal axis, then we call it as a bar. If the load is acting perpendicular to that is in the transverse direction, we call that member as beam. So a beam is subjected to a load means you cannot assume that the load is acting axially. Load is acting transversely. So this clarification you need to have while studying the behavior of the deformable bodies. Next one is types of stresses. So basically we have only two stresses. Broadly we have two stresses. One is called normal stress. The other one is called tangential stress, also called as shear stress. Okay, the normal stress is represented by sigma and the tangential stress is represented or designated by tau. Again, under normal stresses, the basic stresses are compressive stress and tensile stress. Under tangential or shear stress, there are direct shear and torsional shear. So shear stresses are two types. One is called direct, the other one is called torsional. And the normal stresses are two types basically that is compressive stress and tensile stress. Okay, so next, normal stress. When do you call a stress induced in the body a normal stress? So normal stress is induced to the normal load. So your application of the load must be perpendicular to the cross section. You got my point? So that is normal is nothing but perpendicular, that is 90. So that line of action of the load and the cross sectional line must be having 90 degrees. Then only we can call it as a normal stress. So the load is always perpendicular to the cross section and the stress is nothing but resisting force. So that resisting force is equal to P. Okay, so there is an equilibrium, right? And this is called original cross sectional area. Okay, so its units. The unit of a load is Newton. The unit of area is meter square in SI. Okay, so this is equal to Pascal. Okay, next one is there are so many units, that is so many numbers we use to represent a stress induced in the body. That is 1 kilopascal is equal to 10 to the power of 3 Pascal, and 1 megapascal is equal to 10 to the power of 6 Pascal, and 1 gigapascal is equal to 10 to the power of 9 Pascal. Okay, next, in many problems, when you are solving the problems, you may come across the word that is the diameter of the shaft is 50 mm like. So you 50 mm, okay, so you wanted to straight away use this or directly use this unit without conversion. Then 1 Newton per mm square is most frequently used unit. Okay, so what is 1 mm? 1 mm is equal to 10 to the power of minus 3 meter. So 1 mm square is equal to 10 to the power of minus 6 meter square. It is a square. So therefore 1 Newton per mm square is equal to 1 Newton by 10 to the power of minus 6 meters. That becomes 10 to the power of 6 Newton per meter square, and this I can call it as 1 MPa. Okay, so 1 MPa is equal to 1 Newton per meter square. So sometimes you will be given this and you need to convert into 1 Newton per mm square. Okay, 1 MPa is equal to 1 Newton per mm square. So take care of this one. Okay, that is about normal stress. So as I said, the normal stresses are basically consists of tensile stress. So tensile normal, because it is a normal, that is why we use sigma, and T suffix is used for tensile. So tensile stress means it elongates the rod or any structural member. So there is a stretching. Okay, so that stretching is a small deformation, that is delta L. Very small, which we cannot observe initially. That is why an infinitesimal elongation. Okay, so there still that is a deformation. Okay, so this is about tensile stress. When a tensile load, what is meant by tensile load? The load, if able to stretch any body or elongate any body, we call it as a tensile load. So the load, that is the stress induced due to tensile load, we call it as a tensile stress. And when you hear about tensile, that means it is elongation. That is, a length is increased, diameter is increased, thickness is increased, height is increased, whatever the dimension you use. Okay, that is about tensile stress. So this is also unit is that is formula is P by A, and the units we use is PA. And this PA is not small. This is unit. This is the formula. Okay. Next one is compressive stress. So the compressive stress, when do you call this as compressive? If it is able to shorten or decrease the any dimension, then the load we call it as a compressive load, and the stress induced we call is compressive stress, and that is called compressive load by original cross sectional area. You don't forget about original, because there will be another stress. That is why you always concentrate on the word that is called original, means always constant. Okay, so there is another area called instantaneous area, so that will come in other stresses. So units is the same. So if it is a stress, units are same. Okay, any type of stress. Okay, next one is so what would happen to this? See this one. This is shortens this one. So initially this is length L and it is delta L minus delta L. Okay, so next one is called bending stress, and this also we come across in our future studies. That is basically a combination of tensile and compressive. So because of this load, the rod is being that is called under bending, and the upper layer will be subjected to compressive load, and the outer layer is subjected to tensile. So the bending can be taken as a composite of or combination of tensile and compressive. Okay, next one is bearing stress. Bearing stress, when this body is supported, this upper body, then at the contact there is a bearing stress because of this. Okay, that happens in the shaft also. The shaft is in the bearing. I have shown this. This is the bearing through which the shaft is rotating, and the part under this bearing will be subjected to bearing stress. And the shaft is subjected to bearing, bending is also subjected to, that is bearing and shaft both are subjected to bearing stresses, but that is nothing but compressive stress. Okay, bending stress is a combination of compressive and tensile, then bearing is just compressive. Okay, so this is different, that is this is called, because the load is, because it is inducing bearing stress, so the load can be called as a bearing load, and the area is not original area, and it is not cross-sectional area. You got my point? It is not cross-sectional area. Cross-sectional area means if you cut it and you will be able to see this cross-section, that is called cross-sectional area. What? In this we use projected area. Projections of solids. You might have heard about projections of solids in our engineering drawing. So, if you project these rays coming from your eyes, that is a top view or front view, will be viewed as length and diameter. Okay, so the area we call it as LD. This area we call it as projected area. If you cut it from that is this area is pi by 4 d square. So this is cross-sectional area and this is projected area. So that is why you have to keep an eye on the area. Okay. So now I will move on to tangential stress or shear stress, which is designated by tau. Okay. So in shear stress there are two types. One is called direct or transverse. Why? Because it is transverse, it is perpendicular to the longitudinal axis. Okay. It is perpendicular to the longitudinal axis. That is transverse. That is why it is called transverse shear also, because it is cutting along that this one, that is called section, that is parallel to or tangential. Then we call it as a direct shear, and this is a torsional shear, that means it is subjected to torsion or twisting moment. Okay, there are two types of stresses and we will discuss that is what is that. So that is called as transverse or direct. And the stress here is the shear stress is equal to shear force or shear load by shear area. Okay, so the shear area, if you observe this one, and this part and this part are joined using a bolt, and this bolt is subjected to shear. How? So see this one, if you observe this one, this side I am applying a load, and because of this load, this will be subjected to, this part will be subjected to this type of this one, and induced of this one, and from this if you drag from this side, and there will be, that is called this. If you combine both these things, and the failure will be a shear failure. The failure will, we call it as a shear failure, and this is along the cross section. That is, if it is a part of this one and the force is applied like this. You got my point? So this is about shear stress, and the formula is same, that is tau is equal to P by A. Units are same, Pascal, that is Newton per meter square. If needed, you must be able to convert one form into another form. Standard is this one, and very useful one is Newton per mm square. Okay, so that is about shear stress. Now we move on to strains. So during normal strain means that is perpendicular, when load is applied perpendicular, and if there is a extension or deformation, we call it as a common word, that is change in dimension. So the dimension means it may be length, height, thickness, diameter, whatever you wanted to mention, and it is a original dimension. So in this one, what do you call strain? So there is a deformation delta L. So deformation, that is equal to delta L. Okay. So the length is increased by L plus delta L because of this delta L. Okay. So the change in dimension. The change in dimension means final dimension minus initial dimension. Final dimension minus initial dimension. Final dimension is L plus delta L. Initial dimension is L, that is original dimension by original dimension. And this gets cancelled and you will have delta L by L. So that is about strain. Because the unit of change in length, a small deformation, is the same meter, and this length is also meter or mm or by mm. So since they get cancelled, so the strain will have no dimension. Strain will have no dimension. It is a dimensionless. Okay. Dimensionless means M0, L0, T0. That is called dimensionless. So this can be applied for, now it is called as a tensile. So tensile strain means it is a tensile load. That means it extends, that is it elongates, and that means it stretches. Next one is called compressive strain. So initially the load is here. Because of the load, there is a compression amount, that is a contraction, also called as delta L. Initially the length is L and it has been reduced to L minus delta L. So the final dimension is L minus delta L and the initial dimension is L by initial or original. We have this one delta L by L. This indicates that the length is decreased, diameter is decreased, thickness is decreased. So you can use any one of them. Okay. So this to differentiate from tensile. So compressive strain is shown like this one. This is delta L by L. If it is shown like this one, it is delta L by L. So it is positive. Why? Because there is an increment. This is negative. Why? Because there is a shrinkage, contraction. Got my point? So this is all about compressive strain and tensile strain. Okay. Next, the third one is called shear strain, and it is angular change or distortion between two mutually perpendicular planes. Okay. So in radians we call it as this one. How did I get this one? This is tan theta 1 is equal to opposite side BB1 by adjacent side AB. Okay. So this has been replaced by gamma. Okay. You got my point. So this is called shear strain. So shear strain is designated by gamma. So we know that when theta is very, very small, tan theta 1 can be written as theta 1. You might have studied in mathematics. Okay. So therefore gamma is equal to theta 1 sometimes. Thank you for watching. So please leave comments and don't forget to subscribe. If not, this